Hello, this is Mr. Hupp, and I want to talk to you real quick about designing a survey instrument. This is to see if your project is alive. Is this something that people think that it's actually worth solving, is what you're trying to understand. So let me strongly recommend using Google Forms. You could do this on paper and go door to door or find stuff, but it's really easy to use Google Forms and share that out on social media and get a lot of input really quickly, especially if you can find user groups on Facebook and other platforms like that. Don't recommend Reddit, but find some organizations. You could also send it to your experts and get some input from them, okay? And have them share with people in their associations or their groups that they work with. So it's easy to get a lot of information there. So it needs to be 5 or more questions. And you can start from the ideas in your memo and your parameters list. You can use a Likert scale. I'll show you why that is helpful in just a moment. And then your intent is to get feedback from the intended users and stakeholders. What I want for this first part is you're going to just put together your questions and print it out, and we're going to review those. You're going to get some feedback and approval before you put together this form and distribute it. Do not distribute your survey until everything has been checked and you are signed off to send this survey out. Remember, design solid questions. Let me adjust this. They shouldn't have obvious answers, and they shouldn't be yes or no questions. They should be like, on a scale of 1 to 5, what do you think? What you're really after here is usable data to guide your project. So I'll add in here what you're going to turn in. Let's go look at the one that I designed in training with my colleagues. Okay, so this was a survey we sent out about chicken feeders. So we thought one important question was, how many chickens do you own? We needed to understand how many birds you were dealing with, or if you were just interested. So we had some multiple choice options here to kind of understand the people that we were polling. And then we had, how important is it to have a feeder outside? So kind of thinking about point of use. And so they had a 1 through 5. And then how important is it for the feeder to be able to automatically dispense the food? And how much should it hold? And in our design ideas, we were thinking about 20 pounds, but we thought we would get more input from users. And then we wanted to understand problems that we knew were things that needed to be addressed, but we wanted to see if they were also seeing these same problems about rodents and bullying, waste, and due to moisture and waste due to falling on the ground. Okay, and then we also wanted to assess what they thought about the cost. Should it be from $30 or more than $100? Okay, based on our solution. And then we also had an open-ended question for us to go digest, where they had to explain issues that were common with chicken feeders. And the really powerful thing about this is we had over 100 results the first day we put this out there, because one of our team members was a participant in lots of chicken Facebook groups. So he just threw it out there and got a lot of responses really quick. Let's go look at the responses. This is why Google Forms is super powerful. Look at this. How many chickens do you own? We have a nice little pie chart, and we know that most people have more than 16 chickens. And then we know that people have a real strong opinion about feeders being outside. Most of them want the feeders to be able to go outside, and that they need to be able to automatically dispense food, and that there are mixed results here, but most people think 5 to 10 pounds should be the most common, and up to 5 pounds. So we're seeing that kind of thing. And that's the thing, is that's probably about a week of food is what we were shooting for. So 5 to 10 pounds, we were thinking more like 20, but really this is what people thought. And then the most common problem that we're trying to solve is waste due to falling on the ground, according to our users survey. And a fair price. Most people said between $30 and $60 would be a fair price for that. So that made us rethink our design. So our prototype was way above that. So our second iteration would involve, how do we bring our costs down to something that's more acceptable to the user population here. And then we got a lot of information from users here, so we kind of digested this for our presentation. One of the interesting things we found there is making a chicken feeder goat proof was something that was really popular. Okay, back to the assignment. So basically what I want you to do is you and your partner are going to come up with at least 5 questions to put in a survey form. If it's multiple choice, you need to include those answers. If it's using Richter scales, just put on a scale of 1 to 5 and just tell us how that question is supposed to work. We're going to print those out. We're going to peer review those and make sure your grammar is good and make sure you have appropriate questions and really maybe give you some advice on things you should ask or maybe some changing in wording, and then we'll revise, and then you guys will design your Google Forms and then send them out. So all I need for this are just the questions.